Well, welcome everyone. Connecting people to nature by working with communities and partners to conserve and steward sensitive lands and species for survival of the Sonoran Desert. That's why we are here. Welcome to the ribbon cutting for Desert Foothills Land Trust and their newest conservation area. I'm Steve Feld, Executive Director of the Carefree Cave Creek Chamber of Commerce. We're surrounded by some beautiful backdrops and the Sonoran Desert. This great night. Could we ask for anything better? Desert Foothills Land Trust does so many great things to promote and preserve land and wildlife, and we should be thankful for their efforts that we all may continue to enjoy the Sonoran Desert. I'd like to thank all the dignitaries that are here in attendance that you will be hearing from very soon. First, we will be hearing from Vicki Preston, the President and CEO of Desert Foothills Land Trust, RJ Cardin, the Director of Maricopa County Parks and Recreation, Chairman Clint Hickman, Maricopa County District 4, Carrie Dyrek, the Cave Creek Town Manager, Mayor Bob Morris from Cave Creek, and Luke Katzman, the Development Service Director and Zoning Administrator, in just a few moments. At this time, I'd like to turn the event over to Vicki Preston. Please welcome Vicki.
Thank you, everybody. This is one of the first times I've made notes because we have so many speakers. I didn't want, everybody to say the same thing. So I had to make a few notes, but thank you everybody so much for coming. This is a true accomplishment, a true labor of love, a little blood, sweat, and tears along the way as well. But again, thank you for being here to celebrate this. Though it might just be 30 acres kind of surrounded by and engulfed by a huge, beautiful open space, it's a really critical 30 acres. It is, these hills we see right behind us, as you can imagine, dotted with homes, does not fit into this landscape. So this really was a huge accomplishment, and it really could have only been accomplished with three things. One is the vision that was set forth by heroes of our past. I've seen further by standing on backs of giants. Thanks to the strong will, determination, and huge dreams and visions of those years ago, this 2,200 acres around us was forever protected. And today we carry the torch of those before us. Two was steadfast dedication and strong partnerships. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you don't care who gets the credit. And that really was what this was. We had amazing partnership. It was not about who did it. It's not about the organization or the municipality or the individual. It's about the desert. In three, our community. All of you here today, we could not do this without all of your support, whether it's through donations, through all your volunteerism, letters of support, helping us celebrate. You are our cheerleaders, our troops, our voices for conservation. So you really are the ones that help things like this succeed. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the rest of my colleagues, friends, and partners who will go into more detail about this truly amazing accomplishment. So thank you again, everybody, for being here. Thank you to all the partners. Thank you for everybody making this happen. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, Chairman Hickman.
Bob Branch, my Parks Commissioner, is here that represents District 4 and has been with me ever since I was appointed. And Bob, when we open up parks, you don't get this kind of crowd from me as a supervisor. So I'm pinch hitting a little bit also for my colleague Tom Galvin, who is very honored to represent this area of District 2. And I can say that that all of us to a man are really, there's nothing that brings out the pride in my public service than when I get to do something like this. It reminds me of why I do this job. Ever since I was a little kid, when I would have people come to visit my family from the East Coast, Southern, to a person, they'd always say, "Oh my God, I love the desert. This is my favorite." And because I'm from the desert, it'd be like, "Man, but you guys have trees and lakes and snow-capped mountains." And they said, "No, I never could get it." But today, looking past my shoulder, I get it. Everything's in bloom. We've gotten some rains. It's beautiful. It's green, and look at these. This is an unbelievable vista of saguaros of what this state offers other people. And just looking at this reminds me why Maricopa County continues to be the fastest growing county in the United States. But here's another reason why I feel important about this job. We're talking to the landowners here and putting something like this together to seal this place. This is always going to be conserved now. So you're going to have urban people being close, but not spoiling this now because of this group that has worked together with the county, the state, and people that love this area and the landowners to make a day like this happen for generations. We are just a speck in time on this earth. And to think of the tribes that were here and the people that were here so hundreds and hundreds, maybe even millennia, that understood just how beautiful this area is. So if I stepped on somebody's speech, you skip that part. Now I'll go back to the bullet points. In 1997, the town of Cave Creek annexed the Spur Cross Ranch to help protect the area from commercial development and to continue allowing the public access to this pristine area. To ensure the area was protected and designated as a conservation area, a unique partnership was formed between Maricopa County, the state of Arizona, and the town of Queen Creek. Each partner contributed 1/3 of the acquisition funding to create the 2,154-acre Spur Cross Ranch Conservation Area. On January 9, 2001, documents were signed by then Governor Jane Hull for the state of Arizona, Supervisor Jan Brewer for Maricopa County, and Mayor Vincent Francia for the town of Cave Creek, ensuring the conservation of this 2,154-acre gem. The land is designated as a limited use public recreation and conservation area. And while our goal is to connect people with nature, we work collectively to protect the land so it remains pristine Sonoran desert for future generations. What makes this property so special and so unique? In our opinion, here are a few things. The property contains one of the last remaining year-round spring-fed streams in Cave Creek. Remnants of early mining and ranching, from which the park gets its name, are still in the conservation area. Over 80 species of birds reside in the area. Any chickens? The conservation area contains nearly 90 archaeological sites, and the land is home to an abundant number of plant life, as well as species of animals such as javelina, mule deer, and coyotes. Maricopa County and the state and the citizens know that this area is worth protecting, and I'm glad to see this come true once again for the residents here of the entire state and the country. So thank you very much. I appreciate being here and the invitation. And do I get to introduce RJ? Okay. I've served with RJ so many years. RJ, fantastic job, and please come up and
Thanks, sir.
make us look good.
Thank you, Chairman Hickman. And as you mentioned, back in 2001, this area was preserved, and it's good to see there are people here that I recognize from over the last 15, 20 years that have been part of this conservation area, and others for much longer than that. But back in 2001, this area was the outskirts of Cave Creek. Over the last 20 years, we've seen development continue to creep this way, and the encroachment is happening on Spur Cross Ranch Conservation Area. What you see behind me is the 30 acres that Vicki was discussing that we've acquired, and she said it's critical, and there's a couple reasons it's critical. Imagine, if you will, two-story houses built right behind me looking into Spur Cross Ranch Conservation Area. That's number one. Number two, this driveway right here that most people use to park here and hike into the park, that would have been somebody's private driveway driving in through the park, through the main circle of the park, and then up that hill. So we had concerns for obviously the scenic value of Spur Cross Ranch Conservation Area, but also safety reasons. We were concerned about mixing hikers and vehicles. So when Desert Foothills Land Trust came to us, and Clint, I'm going off script too. When Desert Foothills Land Trust came to us a couple of years ago and said, we think we can make a deal with the landowner up there. Are you guys interested? And when I say you guys, I mean the town of Cave Creek, Maricopa County, and we jumped at it. We said, absolutely, if we can protect vehicular access through this conservation area, we'll do everything that we can do. So Cave Creek was all in. The county supervisors were all in, and Desert Foothills Land Trust, you know, yes, the county and the town put the money in to acquire the property, but the Desert Foothills Land Trust brokered the deal. It wouldn't have been done most likely without them. The owners wanted to work with a nonprofit organization, and so that's what Vicki mentioned. The partnership was incredible. Like I said, couldn't have done it without them. And the only thing that the Desert Foothills Land Trust asked was that a conservation easement be placed over the 30 acres, which the town and the county quickly jumped on and said, the rest of the conservation area is under a conservation easement. We're happy to put that 30 acres under the conservation easement in the name of the Desert Foothills Land Trust. So great partnership. One final note, we just put this project in for a National Association of Counties award, and we received a note last week that we won that reward. So it's an annual conservation award. We're very proud of that, and we're very proud of the partnership that we have with the Desert Foothills Land Trust and the town of Cave Creek. So with that, I will introduce. Are you next, Carrie? Carrie, and I have worked on this property for many, many years. Thanks, Carrie.
Hi, I'm Carrie Dyrek. I'm the town manager for the town of Cave Creek, and I'm going to touch on the purchase and preservation process. So the town council and the board of supervisors who approved the IGA back in 2020 are ultimately dedicated the budgetary resources to purchase the property deserve a lot of credit. Vicki Preston was able to leverage her contacts to keep lines of communication open, and due in large part to her tenacity with the various landowners and their agents, the sale was completed. This partnership works because everyone involved understands that this work cannot be accomplished without each organization's efforts. It's amazing, if you imagine, it's quite amazing. If you realize that 3 different organizations' legal staff worked on the purchase contracts and conservation easements all under a deadline to close on the property, and worked through the public meeting schedules for 3 entities to get this all done on time. It's amazing. You think of government and how government operates, it doesn't have that same picture in your mind, but we did it, and it's because of the dedication and of all of the people, the staff and the elected officials to get this done. It took a lot of trust, collaboration, and effort, which makes this ceremony to recognize the results of all involved all the more special. So a big thank you goes to the Cave Creek Town Council, Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, and Vicki Preston from Desert Foothills Land Trust. And next up is our mayor, Bob Morris.
Well, first of all, welcome to Cave Creek. This is actually our town, and I couldn't be more proud today than I am of our town, especially of our staff and council and the people in town. If there's any project that we do that gets 100%, and that's very rare in politics, it's Spur Cross. This is just amazing. Of course, the council and others, we see these little pieces. Can we authorize an appraisal? Can we do this? All over a period of 30 years. in total, but in the last 4 or 5 years, we've been working on this. And our staff really deserves a tremendous amount of credit. Carrie and Luke and others have just done a yeoman's job here. The partnership between the three organizations, the Land Trust, the county, and Cape Creek, is remarkable. To have this kind of alignment of objectives, this kind of cooperation, and we're looking forward to the future. We've got some more money sitting there. Year after we did our budget last night, we still have money there. So where's the next deal? So thank you. Welcome to Cape Creek. Thank you very much, and congratulations to everybody for this wonderful achievement.
I'm Luke Kautzman, the Development Services Director for the town of Cape Creek. But I also wanted to give attention to some of the people behind the scenes that really helped the three organizations in a professional capacity kind of fill in the holes that we couldn't do collectively together. First, I wanted to bring attention to Melissa Paxton, who through her Facebook group in Harmony Hollow kind of spearheaded the Preserve Harmony Hollow and the stamp mill, and that brought attention to not only that property, but also the other adjacent properties of Spur Cross Ranch. I wanted to thank Greg Richards, who's responsive and professional assistance with the appraisal services for the town and county and DFLT were amazing and really got us where we needed to be. And then third, I'd like to thank Jim Loftus with Everett Allen Group. He was the local land surveyor who prepared the exhibits and maps for the purchase. Then I would like to thank Carolyn DeSendefi and Bill Sims. Carolyn was the legal counsel for DFLT, and Bill Sims was the town's legal counsel. As was alluded earlier, anytime you can get multiple attorneys in a room with a document and at some point they all agree and everybody signs it, it's very rare to happen. I can just say that from experience. And then last, Steve and Lori Greenberg. With their effort, really they started this all when they purchased Harmony Hollow and the stamp mill property, and allowed this effort to be possible, allowed us to change our priorities and look at other lands that we could go after and pursue. We do have to cut a ribbon.
Okay, here we go.
Right.
1, 2, 3, cut.
Yeah!